Hello, happy Children's Day to all the children and all the adults who are still children at heart, and to also all the immature adults who refuse to grow up. Today, in the occasion of this day, I would like to share a personal experience and the journey, the emotional journey I've been through because of this experience, and the importance of being emotionally aware and emotionally protective parents. How important and how impactful it can be in your child's life. And the best way to do is to share exactly what happened in my life in a very open and authentic way, which is always the way I do it. So here goes. Just to give the context, this topic is how stuff that is seemingly innocent or seemingly not important, comments and words that are spoken to a child or at a child or in the presence of a child, can have a profound impact. It can have a great positive impact or equally negative impact on the child, and the impact is long term. That's the premise of this video. I was born as a first born child, and most of you would have already seen my parents. They how they look. So imagine being born as a dark-skinned baby to my mother. So I heard later the stories of how there were sounds of pity, sighs of pity when people came to look at this newborn baby, and telling my mother and pitying her, why did you get a child who has such dark skin? So it started there. But I became aware of this, that dark skin was seen as such a disadvantage or as an undesirable quality in a child only when I was around 2 years old, when my sister was born. So as luck might have it, she was born looking more like my mom with much lighter colored skin, and the comparison started. And I still vividly remember which relative commented on this the most, and the occasions and how I felt. I can still recall that emotions I had when every time a relative who came home to see my sister would be like, finally, thank God, at least this baby is born with a fair skin. It looks so much like you. Imagine I was a 2-year-old baby and listening to this. And it didn't stop there. As I grew up, I was also ridiculed or commented on for my hair. It was very thick, very unruly and curly, while some of my sisters and my cousins, they had some silky hair. So my hair was called out inside my family. And after a point at around, I think, 7 or 8 years, my sister grew up to be taller than me. So I was called the shorty, and it was kind of an inside joke that I stopped growing and I'm a shorty. And after that, we learned music, and I used to sing Carnatic music. And it was observed that my voice is not sweet or feminine like how my sisters or cousins' voices are. So all of these observations and comments passed casually, passed randomly, here and there. And apart from this, overall, even me and my sisters, all three of us were observed to be very thin. Any relative or any family friend who came home or met us somewhere would go like, "Why are you kids so thin?" And they would give my mom an accusatory look and say, "Are you not feeding them? Why don't you feed your kids?" So this was like a standard joke for which she would give some explanation. So we were also made to feel being, not being on the heavier side or not being chubby kids was a problem. Only the chunky and chubby kids are considered to be good looking. So all of these observations were thrown. And imagine, as a 2-year-old or a very small kid, I started to feel I'm not good enough, and I can never be good enough because these are not things I can control. I cannot change the way I look. I cannot change the color of my skin. I can't make my hair straight. And I mean, that time you didn't have hair straightening processes, and nor I can grow taller, overnight. So I started resorting to a lot of other things, like doing a lot of makeup every day for every occasion, being obsessed with the way I look, the way my hair is done, and my dresses. That was on one side, and on the other side, subconsciously and subconsciously, not consciously, very subconsciously, my kid's brain worked out a strategy that to mask these shortcomings, which I can't do anything about, to divert the attention from these, and I have to, perform. I have to become a performer and flash a lot of successes and other things, all flashy stuff I have to show. So people will be, start observing that, will start noticing that, and my flaws, which are something I could not do anymore, will be hidden. So I started overperforming. I used to study well. I used to be the best student in school. All my teachers loved me. I used to dance, I used to sing, I used to attend all the competitions, elocution, Hindi elocution, English elocution, essay writing, speeches, and being in sports and participating in dance competitions and skating and going for private Hindi tuitions, going for art classes, painting classes, embroidery classes, you name it. My mom asked me to go to a class, I would go. And I would also do well in it. There was nothing wrong in this per se, because I was seen as this multi-talented, super achiever kid. But cut to 20 years later, this super achiever topper from school, who went on to NIFT also, and who also worked, made some of the most weakest decisions, and did not know to stand up for herself at some crucial points of her life when she should have stood up for herself. Why did that happen? It happened because of the impact of these so-called harmless comments and harmless incidents that have happened in my childhood. All this I processed much later. Let me tell you that maybe post 30 is when I started to really process and understood there's a lot of unhealed childhood trauma that I'm still carrying, and I still do carry. I'm still a work in progress, let me tell you that. And this childhood trauma and these incidents have held me back. I was not taught to love myself. I was not told I'm amazing and wonderful as I am. People, my family, my surroundings, they clapped when I won a prize. They clapped when I performed something. They clapped when somebody appreciated me. They clapped when I got highest marks in school, when I was a topper. But I was not taught that, yes, it's great to achieve, it's great to be a thriving and a successful child. Nothing wrong in that. But even if not, in spite of not doing that, also you're still a child that has to be loved. And you're perfect, you look amazing, you're gorgeous the way you are. If this is what I want to say to the 2-year-old Madhu. I just want to pick the little Madhu up, hug her, give her a kiss and say, you are beautiful as you are. You're a gorgeous kid. You're amazing as you are. This is the message I want to give to that baby. It would have made such a lot of difference in her life. I know that now. And I'm sure times have changed. I know parents now are more aware. They're more conscious of how they speak, what comments. They avoid comparison. They avoid body shaming. All of the awareness about all these topics and gentle parenting is very high now. That's good. But still, there can be others who come to your home, your own in-laws, your own parents, your own relatives, who can throw that comment. Intentionally or unintentionally, it really doesn't matter here. What matters is You catch that, you're sensitive to that, and whether you stop them right there or maybe later, you address it to the child, and you do not at any stage brush it off as, oh, nothing in that. They'll just talk all this. Let's not do, don't bother. The child might bother. Do not brush it off. Because as a parent, Purna also has been a very underweight kid. She's still a very petite child, and she's shorter than me in her terms of height, and she's consistently been underweight. She's had consistently she's been an underweight kid for various reasons, and I have ensured, and everybody who sees her, especially when she was a baby, will be like, why is she so small, why is she so thin, give her that, give her this, and that made me so depressed as a mom. I had to fight and come out of that depression. I had severe parental guilt, mom guilt, that I am not able to take care of my child the way I am supposed to. But it took me a lot of years to get over that, and I made sure every time she is on the receiving end of these kind of comments, I keep telling her, you're beautiful as you are, you're perfect as you are. Don't let anybody mess with your head, or don't think anybody. And I think she's quite confident in that way now, and that's beautiful to watch. So all I have to say is, there are certain things the kids can't do anything about, and nobody, whether it's the parent or family or strangers, nobody is supposed to criticize them, ostracize them for stuff they don't have a choice or control over. Height, weight, skin color, hair type, body shape, physical challenges, health issues, the family or the place they are born into, their parents' family, the relationship structure, they might be divorced, or the child would have been born out of wedlock. And later, when they grow up, their sexual orientation and their interest and passion in life, nobody is supposed to comment on it, and nobody is supposed to say the child is great or lesser or precious or not precious or unimpressive or ugly. No comments, please. These kind of comments, these kind of careless communication and behavior by us adults can really have long-term impacts for the child. And let's be more responsible, and we spread this awareness to others, be it anybody in our life. We have to protect our kids so they don't have to deal with all of this trauma in their adult life. Bye.